That second base question comes up a lot. Why not sign a second baseman and put Dylan Moore in left field? Well, there are two things that are less than ideal about that. Not that it's implausible or that Seattle would be idiots to do it or that they're not planning on doing it or that they're not considering it, because all options are open. But there are two things about doing that are less than ideal. Pretty tough hurdles. Hurdles that if I were GM, if I were Jerry DiPoto, I wouldn't really like those hurdles. I have to keep my options open because I'm trying to build the best team I can. But I don't really love these, the issues it presents. The first thing is, let's say they do that. Let's say they go out and they sign a second baseman. And let's just say that second baseman's name is, Kolten Wong, because he's the most popular second baseman brought up. Because after DJ LeMahieu, he's probably the best second baseman on the market. Pretty good defender, and he's a left-handed bat. So you have Kolten Wong at second base, which means Dylan Moore in left. Dylan Moore has earned the right to start the season as an everyday player. I think it should be second base. I think the Mariners think it should be second base. If it's left field, then I guess it's left field. But let's say that's what they did. Okay, great. Now, what happens when Jared Kelenic forces his way into the mix in left field? Because if you call up Jared Kelenic in April, May, June, July, doesn't matter. You're not playing him 2 days a week or 3 days a week. You're playing him 5, 6, 7 days a week. You're not sitting Jared Kelenic versus left-handers. He is potentially your future cornerstone of the franchise kind of player. He comes up, he gets time. Now, if he struggles and gets sent back down, you have no problem. But what if he doesn't? Where does Dylan Moore play while Kelnic's getting his audition or after he's kind of forced his way into the lineup long term? Because yes, it was a shortened season, but Dylan Moore was one of the best hitters in the lineup last year. He can't sit. He can't be left in the cold without a place to play regularly. And it really should be one position for his own good and for the team's own good, rather than continuing to bounce around from left field to right field to second base, whatever it might be. Secondly, Wong or any other option at second base that's worthy of playing a lot / every day is going to cost a lot more than that same option in left field, whether it's 2 players to play one spot or it's 1 player to play every day. Second baseman, both in a vacuum and considering this particular trade and free agent market, second basemen are vastly more pricey to acquire in trade and to sign in free agency. They just are. There's also fewer second basemen available, which is part of why they're so expensive to get, which gives you a better chance to actually go out and find that outfielder and a better chance to find value in that outfielder. So this makes the second baseman acquisition, if they were to go out and do that, a little tougher. That player becomes tougher to trade if Kelenic comes up and earns his keep for the long haul right away, especially if that acquisition doesn't rake to start off the season. If it's Kolten Wong and, 80 games into the season, we get to July and Wong's hitting 237 with no power, now all of a sudden he's a bench player. Or somebody's, hey, let's give him a shot because he's bound to bounce out. He's kind of a midseason bounce back candidate. If you give that player, say, 1 year and, I'll even be conservative. Let's say it's a 1-year deal at $7 million or a 2-year deal at $15 million, something like that, something relatively conservative. He should get more than that, but let's just say it's even that. He's hard to trade still. And if he's not performing, he's hard to not just trade, but how do you find at-bats for him? Because you have Kelenic in left field, and now it's like, well, Dylan Moore's hitting better than Kolten Wong. Now we have this $7 million bench player who can't play the outfield. Kolten Wong's never played the outfield. Certainly not regularly. And you signed him for $7 million or whatever. That guy needs to be playing every day. So when you sign a veteran outfielder or a pair of veteran outfielders, it's a little easier to keep them in the mix. It's a little easier to get value out of them because you're signing them mostly for their bat.